Chris Souza from Bagel Games here at E3 2017. I'm here with Kevin Carthew, creative director of Team 17.
Yeah, thanks for the interview. It's cool to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah, and especially what you're doing right now with Escapists 2. Just start us off by saying what exactly is the series of Escapists?
So it's a very unique game. I'd say it's quite an innovative game. So it's a sandbox game about breaking out from prison. And I think what makes the game really compelling and cool and successful is the fact that you can play it in a myriad of different ways. I would say that no two prison escapes are never necessarily or exactly the same. It's quite a cute looking game. It's kind of like got a retro kind of like aesthetic. And I would say what it kind of like trades maybe in like fancy graphics or visual fidelity, it absolutely makes up for in terms of affording the player loads of different ways of playing it, lots of different ways of escaping, lots of kind of like possibilities for players to express themselves and play in a style that makes sense for them and they enjoy.
Definitely. I mean, I played for a little bit and I could already see all like the different variety and possibilities of things you could do. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of what are the things you can kind of do to get out of prisons?
Sure. So it starts off with fairly simple things like, building a shovel, tunneling out, chipping through brick walls, climbing over walls, cutting through metal fences, getting a little bit more complex, maybe like crafting a crossbow so you can shoot a wire and then like sailing out on a zip wire. And then in some of the later prisons, some of the prisons that we're not showing today in the demo, you would have to see for yourself there are some truly silly and ridiculous ways of busting out of prison that I know that people will really enjoy and probably get a bit of a kick out of.
What are some of the changes you made in the sequel?
So the main change for the sequel is the original game is entirely single player. This game is single player and multiplayer. What I really like about the approach that we've taken is that when we looked at the Escapists and we looked at all the different things that people did in the Escapists and how they played, we found that people adopted a really broad range of play styles. Some people really actually weren't even interested in escaping from prison. Some people just like to hang out in the prison.
Made a lot of friends in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, friends for life, I guess. Yeah, depending on your jail term. So the approach that we took to implementing multiplayer had to cater for all these different play styles. And what we came up with is that any single-player game can become a multiplayer game. That's what's really sweet about it. You can be partway through escaping from a prison. You might think, this is pretty tough, I need some help. So you can get a buddy involved. And you get a buddy involved in all sorts of different ways. So it can be local split-screen play. Anything up to 4 players, the screen will split into 4 and you can all play together. That's all handled really seamlessly. You can then invite people in online. So you can invite your friends in to play with you online. You can open the prison up and allow strangers to enter the prison. Then you can take your what is now a multiplayer game and turn it back into a single player game if you like. So really kind of the approach that we've taken really caters for all sorts of different play styles and just seems like quite a unique approach but a perfect fit for the Escapists.
Yeah, I think this game is really going to shine when you get like a gang of your buddies and just kind of break out together. Obviously the game is designed to play with no matter how many players you have. But what are some like the more special things you can do with like 2 to 4 players that you couldn't do as a single player game?
Sure. I mean, well, the main thing I suppose that multiplayer gives you is it gives you, an extra pair of hands, an extra person in the prison is an extra resource in the first instance. So you can collect more items, craft more items. You could gang up on guards and beat people up more effectively. But on top of that as well, in the same way that in some regards it makes it a little bit easier to escape, at the same time there's a little bit more to coordinate. There's a lot of communications required in the game in order to escape effectively because at the same time that you can do all these extra things with the extra player, you also have to fly under the radar, so to speak, avoid arousing the guards' suspicions and the kinds of things that you might be doing. There are also specific areas in the prison that are multiplayer rooms, so some of the prisons have multiplayer escapes. It's not necessarily that these multiplayer areas really are integral to the game, they're just optional extras, they're nice additions, but extra ways in which the player has to coordinate, things like you might have to get an extra pair of hands to lift a door up while somebody sneaks in and goes into a special room that has special items in it. Yeah, got to work together a little bit more.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to see all the possibilities. Which platforms are you releasing this on?
So it's coming to pretty much all platforms. So it's coming to PC through Steam, then Xbox One, PlayStation 4. And we're also doing a Switch version.
I'm very excited for the Switch version. And when is this releasing?
So we don't have a final release date just yet. I would say we are kind of in the closing stages of development. We're polishing a few things, fixing the last round of bugs. It's absolutely coming in 2017, but yeah, we don't have a final date just yet.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.